Hello. What's your name?
My name is Cecilia Jezik.
Come on, Brian.
How old are you?
I am 34 years old.
Where are you from?
I am from the United States. My city is Seattle, Washington.
What do you do?
In the United States, I work as a librarian.
Why are you in Spain?
I am in Spain to teach English and to learn how to speak Spanish.
Why did you decide to work as a language assistant?
Good question. 2 years ago, I did the Camino de Santiago in northern Spain. And I met someone who was a language assistant, and she told me about the program. And she recommended it to me. And I decided that I wanted to do it also.
Okay.
What difficulty did you find when you arrived in Spain?
Not speaking Spanish was difficult. And finding information when you don't speak the language is more difficult. I had to ask for help a lot more than I normally have to.
And is Spanish language very difficult to learn?
For me, yes, because I'm not very good at learning languages, but I think it's easier than, for instance, German, because there are a lot of similarities to English.
Okay, thanks. Now let's find out about the USA.
Okay.
How is everyday life there?
It's a lot like Spain. It's with some differences. I think everyday life in general is is like it is here. Sorry.
Okay.
Good.
How is basic compulsory education in USA?
The compulsory education, it's a little bit different than in Spain. In the US, we go to school until we're 18 years old, and it's required. And then, so for instance, high school or instituto is from, it's 14, 15, 16, and 17 years old. We don't have bachillerato in between high school and college. So students have to go to 4 years of high school, and then they're done, and then they can go to university if they want to. But there's not that middle part of bachillerato.
How is the university life?
Well, it depends. Some people go to university in their same town and live at home, and some people go far away and live in dormitories. If they live in dormitories, usually there are, for instance, a lot more parties and such. The social life is different. I think more people go to university in the States at 18 years old. Often they don't know what they want to study yet, and so they take a lot of different things, subjects, before they can decide what they want to study.
What type of aid are given to students?
Financial aid, there are some scholarships given by the government, and there are some academic scholarships given by the colleges. For instance, if a student does really well in high school, they can receive a scholarship to go to college for free. And if a student's parents do not have a lot of money, they can receive money from the government to go to school as well. But it's different than in Spain. You can go to, everyone gets government money to go to university. In the United States, frequently parents or the student pay for more of the education of university. And private colleges cost more and state schools cost less.
Is it very difficult to find a job in America?
I think in the past 5 years it has been difficult. There have been fewer jobs, especially for recent college grads, than in maybe 10 years ago. But I also think right now the economy is improving, and so it's getting a little bit easier. However, a lot of recent college grads have to take jobs like internships, which pay nothing or pay very little, in order to get experience, in order to get a real job.
Thank you. Now let's change the topic. Can you tell me about some custom in your state?
Sure. Some customs in the USA. For instance, one big custom we have that you don't have in Spain is Thanksgiving. And so we celebrate that a lot like we celebrate Christmas, with all of the family together, with lots of food, often watching a parade on TV or football games. There are other traditions like baseball and I'm trying to think of something more interesting than that, but I don't have an example right now.
What are the most famous monuments of your state?
Ooh, the most famous monuments. I would say the Statue of Liberty in New York City. And then in Washington, D.C., there's several monuments as well. And then the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia.
What's the typical food there?
The typical food? A lot of pizza and hamburgers. That would be the most common. And then less ham, more chicken. And then also we have a lot of different foods from all over the world. Restaurants like Chinese and Indian and Vietnamese food. But I think traditional American food is hamburgers. We eat a lot of pizza and steak.
Is there any special tradition of Christmas?
Yes, there is. Well, it depends on the family, if they're religious or not, but oftentimes family will travel to spend Christmas together, which is a lot like here in Spain. And they will put presents underneath a tree and open them all together Christmas morning. And usually then after opening presents in the morning, we'll have a big meal together.
And to finish, according to your point of view, what are the main differences between the USA and Spain?
I think one big difference is family tends to live further apart in the United States. The country is much bigger. And so, for instance, I live in Seattle, Washington, but my parents live in Orlando, Florida. So it's 5,000 kilometers away. So I only see my parents once a year for about a week at Christmas. And from what I've seen in Spain, more often people visit with their family, their grandparents, their cousins more frequently than we do in the United States. But, of course, some families in the United States are closer, but I think it's more normal to live further apart and not see each other as frequently.
Thank you very much for your attention.
You're welcome.
Ok, un aplauso.